Well, speaking of advice, I'm hoping, some young people in the family will watch the recording at some point. And if you were going to say a word to them, what would that be? But let me kind of set that up a little bit. In 1970, in that era, and so we've been together in '69 at Stillwater College, and you're getting ready. Your life to me was adventurous because you were willing to just hitchhike off anywhere and just do anything. I told mom and dad, I want to go to Alaska with Howard. He's going to go up there, and they were like, "Don't be messing around with that Howard. He's not even gonna make it to 20." they, they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me go. But
Blame him.
there was I think you were able to look inside and see some kind of resources that told you I can do this. And I'd like you to reflect on where you think that came from and what you might, on the basis of that, uh, have some input for young family people.
Okay. Well, dad, my daddy had issues. Like I say, he left at 43, but he was crazy about his kids. He would love us kids. And he taught me traditional ways. Uh, and so I remember, let me just say this. I remember one time he took me to see Lucy Tilden out past Debbie's house, out west, down that way. And of course, you don't, our tradition is so honorable. You don't visit an elder without bringing a gift. At that time, the gift was a bag of groceries. And so I went to Hermes and I got bread and I got bologna. I don't know what I got, a bag of groceries and cigarettes. And then my daddy took me out there to meet Lucy Tillman. And as we know, she was the last survivor of the walk from Nebraska. And so we were taught this tradition, the honor. Just like I read earlier, that Henry Chapman addressed the elders. It was really cool at, was it Jerry? At Jerry's, no, excuse me, George's service. When I got there to the Rome chief, I sat down and Debbie came over and we were visiting a little bit. But when it was time to eat, the elders went first, the men went first, the women and the kids. We have such honorable traditions in our tribe and in our family. Like I said, family was the biggest thing that my dad taught me. We would always go visit his brothers, my uncles, everywhere we went, and the house was always open. So you got a lot of memories growing up that way. So my advice to young people is what was taught us is there's a creator. Love him, know him, find your way in life with his help. Mentor, very, very important. Oh, I wish I had a mentor. Wish I had a mentor.
Well, I've done my best with you, Howard.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wish I had a mentor, but speaking of family, now I was a son of Witty. So that time that not you and I wasn't going to mention names. That time that one of my favorite cousins woke me up with a steering wheel in his hand, driving down the road. We called Uncle Bruce. We called Uncle Bruce that night. He came out and got us.
Mm-hmm.
Woke him up. Hey, man had a job. He was a geophysicist. He came out and got us, brought us home, and I don't remember him beating us up, I don't remember him bawling us out or whatever. He just came, got us. He was a little grumpy because it was late and cold and snowy, whatever. But the reason he did that is because we were his brother's kids, family. Uncle August has bailed me out. Uncle Elmo bailed me out back in my drinking days. Family. And that wasn't anything special about me at all, but I was Witty's boy. And that strong family tradition said, yeah, Howard's a little jerk, but I love Witty, so I'll bail him out. and that's our family. We grew up with those brothers. They were cousins, but they were brothers. They knew each other as brothers. They took care of each other. So family is so strong. But my dad told me, he said, take all the math and science you can take. You got to get educated. You got to get trained. You got to find something that you can make some money. Got to have a backup career. So I guess that's my thing too. One is realize, like we read, that God put us here and do the best we can to know Him and know His ways and family and education and go out and take care of your family. Take care of your family. You got kids, take care of your kids. I have amazing kids. I was able to be home every night with the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. I worked at Pump Station 9 in Delta Junction for 30 years. I was home every night. So that had a big influence on my kids. I was there all the time. And like I say, sometimes I have training I've able to take and we go to Anchorage or Fairbanks, and because Delta Junction is 100 miles away from McDonald's or a regular movie theater. You know, it's a little bitty. Yale is bigger than Delta Junction, I think. So I guess acknowledge God and love God and walk with Him and get a mentor, and then you get as much education as you can and take care of your family. Take care of if you got kids or cousins or whatever you haven't seen in a while, reach out. Let's be a family. This is so great. This campfire you have here is really, really cool. Everybody get together from all over the nation. It's really awesome. So I think that would be my advice is
Well,
stay strong in family and stay strong in God.
I think that's important to highlight that family really can be a foundation to launch from, and whatever happened in your life to give you those resources, you certainly launched into some adventures. And I think that says something, you were a risk taker in a way that I wasn't.
It must have been like 1969, 68. Woke him up. It was at that time we were in Yale, Pawnee out east of the Y. And so he got out of bed, went to the front room where the phone was, hanging on the wall with the cord. He answered the phone, said hello, and I said, Daddy, I wrecked a car. Not knowing what to expect. I'd never seen my dad get fussy. Let me take a break there. I was taking flying lessons. Uncle Crip inspired me. I was taking flying lessons in when it was 70, maybe 60, something. Anyway, I went to Guthrie one night. For your checkout flights, you have to do the night flight. I went to Guthrie, went to my instructor, did some touch and goes, came back to Stillwater, and that following weekend I was at with my dad. And at that time, Guthrie was all black. Stillwater were in the same AA conference, football, stuff like that. And we'd play them, and they were all wonderful black guys, big athletes. And so I went to Guthrie, the touch and go, came back. And I told my daddy that weekend, Daddy, I went to Guthrie last Friday night. I had my first night flight, and I never saw my dad get mad, but he got mad. he got very, very angry. He's cussing. That's a blankety blank good way to get killed. And he's kicking dirt, walking over outside the house in the yard. And he's kicking dirt, and he kept cussing and going, that's a good way to get killed. And I'm going, I had an instructor. I don't care. That's a blankety blank good way to get killed. And he's kicking dirt. And then finally we communicated. And I said, Daddy, I was in an airplane. Oh, I thought you said knife fight, like a knife fight, sharp knives. And that's a blankety blank good way to get killed. He didn't care if I had an instructor over there with fighting these black guys in Guthrie. So that's my dad. So the story I was going to say, though, in Yale, so I was on this date and with this girl, Kay, and I had to call him. And when I said I wrecked the car, it was dead air for 5 lifetimes. And then he said, anybody get hurt? Just like that, nice and quiet, calm. I said, well, yeah, okay, she's ambulance, but stitches, but she'll be fine. She'll be okay. Then the phone again went dead for 10 lifetimes. And then he said, can you get home? I said, oh, yes, sir, I can get home. You don't have to come get me. Yes, sir, I can get home. I'll make it home. I walked all night long, got home. But my point is, and I've shared this story. In fact, I shared it at George's funeral. Who does that? I don't think I would have done that if my son had wrecked a car, my company car, and I'm probably going to lose my job. Maybe liable. I have to pay for the whole deal. And he only asked me if anybody got hurt, and can I come home? And so what I'm saying is that parents and dads especially give their kids either a cage or wings. And I remember as I finish up my little talk here, after I went to Alaska that time, then the next year I wanted to hitchhike. They say Daddy, my mother, Helen, Holly, we're in a pickup, and they took me to Bill's Corner. And then I think that might have been, no, it's the first time I went to yeah, it was before you guys got married. It was the first time I went to Albuquerque, and then I went on, and I went to Uncle Johnny's house in Los Angeles, and they treated me like a long lost son. Treated me so good. I was so amazed. There was oranges on trees, and it was sunny and nice and warm and everything. And I got to meet the whole gang. Tom and Charlie was just a little kid then. And Steve, hung out with Steve, went partying with Steve, met one of Fred's girlfriends, and had a great time. And then I went on up to Alaska. So, but my point is, my dad gave me wings. He gave me wings. And so Howie asked me, he said, how come you're up there, Dad? Well, how did all this happen? And I wasn't taught this, but I was taught it not by chapter and verse, but by real. My dad was a man of honor. He honored his elders, his father, his brothers, and I really like the way Bobby. I'll give you kudos. I like the way Bobby comes to the room. He shakes hands with everybody, and he's been taught the same way from his dad, a way of honor. And so, so we're all family here tonight. And I was going to say, it's, as everybody knows, it's couldn't have had a better mom for my kids. His mom was amazing. She gave them wings. They've been all over the world, my kids, and Yvonne was right there, sending them off to do all these amazing things. Abby was in Portugal when she got out of high school. Howie was in China, and Colleen was in Moscow when she was 16. And they've all been able to go all over the place. Hillel was backpacking in India, and So that's what I wanted to do as a dad, is get my kids wings like my dad gave me.